My work is called Tree Treasures, and it's a presentation of 6 weeks research that I did while going to the Hortus almost every day. For my work, I use leftover material, either waste material from humans or leftover materials from nature. And I think that is why the leaves in the Hortus stood out to me, because they are actually seen as waste because the Hortus needs to be cleaned. But they're also a very vital element of the ecosystem. Where leaves are on the floor, other things can grow again. It's part of the cycle of life. So I wanted to put more emphasis on the leaves in the Hortus that are normally cleared away, and also show the beauty in the decay. Over time, they change, and the patterns change, and the colors change. And I've made this visible by using time-lapse photography, but you can also show it real time, which I've done in my light installations, where people can see every day during the week of the exhibition how slowly the leaves will change color, and also show them the beauty that lies within the decay.
So my performance is basically, I'm a character who is making camp inside the greenhouse. So as far as the character is concerned, the greenhouse is not an artificial space. It's a jungle. And the performance consists of me doing all the things that a person like that would do. And I will have earplugs in my ears. The reason being that I also have this kind of little sculpture, like a kind of haunted looking box. And inside this box is the severed head of a creature that this traveling character has taken from somewhere. And this head is speaking.
It was the far future. I was wavering on the muddy bank of a small river.
It becomes clear that the head belonged to a kind of human fungus hybrid, this kind of strange creature. Some of the stuff I wanted to address with the work was to do with the legacy of greenhouses, to do with the fact that these things were at one point basically used as laboratories to develop plants that were then exported to colonies and used to transform colonial landscapes. So the greenhouse is also a recurring kind of image or theme in the story. And in the story, it is much more directly to do with experimentation. And it all came out of trying to imagine what sort of creature would naturally live in a space as unnatural as this one.
This work is about migration. I moved here a year and a half ago. So the first time I came to the Hortus and I went into the greenhouse, I felt at home. For me, it's just the natural environment. It's just the heat and the humidity of the space and the smells, just the plants that I'm used to. I guess also this idea of that those plants are there sort of as an exotic thing, right? To admire, but also study, but also dissect them a bit, And yeah, I felt like I could relate to them. It's an installation. I always wanted to present it in a different way. So the idea is the illustration can interact with what's behind it. The illustrations, they're a bit of a sketch. Of course, it presents itself as a finished thing, but you can see parts of the process in it. And there's also this idea of this see-through or having a kaleidoscopic view of things.
I wrote a poem about the unconscious processes in your body that you're not aware of, the same as they work in nature. For example, the way leaves fall down from the trees, and it's a poem to accompany Karl's work. It's quite a personal poem. It's about tiredness and restlessness in your body and the way it can spread through your veins. So I used the leaves as a metaphor. And the way the veins in the leaves branch out to tell something about restlessness in your own body and the way that can spread in your body and your feelings.
This work originated as background visuals for techno clubs, taking live webcam footage into a visual experience. Depending on the height of the audio, it inserts foreground, middle and background elements. Trees change on the beat, the sky changes and the grass between your toes itches differently. So you're not looking at a real landscape, but at a digital archive. Not a perfect copy, but consistent completely of ones and zeros. This project is a creative coding effort that combines supercollider and processing to transform audio input from the environment into a digital dynamic landscape using photographic sources. But actually, the most important thing about this work is not the results. It is how the software can engage a new generation of visual artists to consider programming as an essential part of their creative practice.